Hi, everybody. I'm Mortellus, author of Do I Have to Wear Black? Rituals, Customs, and Funerary Etiquette for Modern Pagans. Thank you for joining me this month for the Witch With Me book club. It's an honor to be here, and it's exciting that you all chose to read this particular book. And I'm so curious to find out why and what it meant to you. So I'm looking forward to the Q&A at the end of the month. I'm told this first video's purpose is to kind of introduce us to one another, let you know who I am and how I came to be writing this book and what it meant to me to do that. And well, I guess what you see is what you get. You get old t-shirt, messy office, messy hair. I'm pretty ordinary. I live on 3 acres with 3 kids and a ridiculous dog and my spouse. One of the reasons that I wound up writing this book was through my time in mortuary school, I came to really become aware of the depth of biases towards just sort of othered faith practices inside the funeral industry. Every day I was confronted with how much of our funerary practices and death practices in the United States are bound to this concept of Christian burial or Christianity as a form of dignity. What is a Christian burial? It's become some sort of standard for what is good and what is deserved. This bothered me, and it bothered me to see how those things affected the way members of the LGBTQ community or women or BIPOC could interact with their own death when you have an industry that is so pervasively run by older Caucasian men of particular faith practices. It becomes narrower and narrower until there's nothing left that's for you. I wanted so badly to create something that was different, to create something that really just sort of made space for who we are. Author Nisha Magdalene, author of Outside the Charm Circle, another book I highly recommend, put it best when they said that uh, religion, pagan faith practices, the traditions in our community really let us down in this regard. We have an aging population of pagan founders who are dying, and our traditions don't necessarily address death. They don't address what the practical aspects of ritualizing death or funeral services or God, even just the practicalities of what is acceptable or right or desirable or wanted in any particular faith group's context, that we're left figuring it out for them. So when I sat down to begin writing this, I found myself just staring at this big pile of nothing that we have, and researching and reaching out to members of different faith groups, different communities, and trying to get their take. And a lot of the times I was creating from the ground up, taking foundational ideas and beliefs from those practices and reimagining them in the context of death. And so much of what you'll find written in this book is my own personal experiences. In chapters like the loss of a child, you see a poem for a miscarriage, and it was a story that impacted me personally. The poem was something that I wrote when I myself had a miscarriage, and it was a difficult time in my life. And just sort of putting these things on the page and addressing what they meant for me in the context of being grieved or comforting people that I love. And I wanted to make something that anyone could pick up, not just a Gardnerian Wiccan like myself, not just a Druid, not just someone in the pagan community, but a guest, someone who's attending a funeral who has no idea what to expect at a Wiccan funeral, or or a funeral service professional who has no idea how to serve those families because they've never been taught it. I wanted to make space for those things to exist. I wanted, if nothing else, to inspire communities to pick up the torch and imagine what they believe would be right, and take that information and run with it. And I think it'd be amazing if someday someone writes a better book on the same topic. I would love to see a wealth of information in the world so that in someone's most difficult hour, they have options. They have things to reach out for, things to consider. They have a guide where they might not have one otherwise. How did I wind up writing this book? I had no intention. Take that as a lesson in if you can dream it, you can do it. Just take a chance. I found myself at Mystic South 2019. It's one of my favorite pagan gatherings, pagan events. I was teaching a workshop, and Llewellyn was doing pitch meetings, which I had no idea, I had no intention of attending. I didn't bring any of the things you're supposed to bring or do any of the things you're supposed to do. And I wound up following someone into that room on a whim, who was someone who was giving a pitch. And there was a lovely girl with a clipboard taking information. Isn't that how all stories start? Follow the pretty thing. And I wound up in the room, and the lovely young lady with the clipboard asked for my information, and I dumbly gave it to her. And by dumb, I mean with the blankness one has when confronted with something you don't know how to answer. So here I am getting my name called to give a pitch for a book to a Llewellyn acquisitions editor when I did not even plan to be in that room. And when I sat down in the chair, I just thought of this thing that I was mad about, just this overwhelming feeling that I wanted this to be better, that we couldn't go on existing in a world where Christianity continued to get to define how we die. And I sat there and I said that, and within a week, I was agreeing to write this book for you. And hopefully I did you justice. I'm not an author. I never intended to be here. I just wanted to change a little piece of the world. So let me know how it goes. I look forward to hearing your experiences, talking to you more. And throughout the month, I hope that you enjoy the things that I've made for you. To that end, I wanted to give all of you a little something special. So if you go to my website at www.mortellus.com and sign up on the forum page, and forward me at my email, acrowandthedead@gmail.com, the confirmation that you're part of the book club this month, I will give you access to a hidden forum. And in that forum, you have access to me night and day. You can ask any question, start a poll with your fellow book club participants, or just have a conversation with me if you like. And I will happily answer any questions you have about my life, this book, the topic, the subject. Sky's the limit. What's my favorite pie? I would love to tell you all about it. So I'll see you more in a week.